What is up, guys? Welcome back to Brick Age Studios, and in this video, a very exciting review. As you guys probably know, I attended Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. It was a very cool experience, and I managed to pick up the LEGO Star Wars Detention Block Rescue Set. This is, of course, to celebrate 40 years of Star Wars, and guys, I am so excited. This is my first con-exclusive LEGO set, really my first con-exclusive item in general. So yeah, I'm going to be opening this up on camera for you guys. As you can see, I got the 1,758th copy, so that's really cool. The recommended ages are 8 through 14, and it has a piece count of 220 pieces. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get into this. Now, since this is a special con-exclusive set, it has the really cool sort of glossy box, very good quality, and I've never had this before. I've never really sort of felt any LEGO boxes like this before, so it's really cool for me personally. And how you open it, it's similar to how some of the exclusive con LEGO sets have worked in the past. You have this tape at the bottom, which you basically have to cut, and then you have this sort of black case here that slides out. And I do have a box cutter here, so let's go ahead and get this thing open. I'm excited. Let me just make sure I'm not going to cut myself here. That would be bad. Alright. Here's one side, and then the other as well. There we go. I want to be extremely careful since it's an exclusive item. Get out the case, and there's all the contents inside. Pour it out. Oh man, guys, I am so excited. So it looks like no numbered bags. We have 2 in total with a decent amount of pieces. Like I said, there are 220 pieces. And then, of course, the instruction booklet. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all built up for you, and then we'll take a look at it and get started with the actual review. And there we go. The set is fully completed. So let's go ahead and dive into this review by taking a look at our minifigures to start things off. So first up, we have Luke Skywalker in his Stormtrooper disguise. And I have to say, this minifigure is pretty darn hard to get in an actual set, because you can either get him in this con-exclusive set, which obviously is going to be very limited, or the $500 Death Star set that came out last year. Granted, you could probably make him if you have the right pieces at home, because we've gotten this hairpiece and face print several times for Luke. And let me just say, I'm completely happy with it. I think it represents the younger version of Mark Hamill very well. And he does have a double-sided face as well, which I think looks just as good. And then the hairpiece, I think they've been using since 2011, but I think it's a great hair choice, at least for A New Hope. And then, of course, the standard Stormtrooper torso and legs, nothing new here, but still very nicely detailed. So overall, definitely an essential inclusion to a set like this, and a cool figure. And now for Han Solo in his Stormtrooper disguise. This is definitely going to be the most interesting out of the two, or it is, at least for me personally, because you get the new Han Solo hairpiece, which again comes in the 2016 Death Star set. It also came in the Desert Skiff set, which was released quite recently, just a few months ago. But honestly, I didn't really like that set, so I would have bought a $30 Desert Skiff set just to get the Han Solo hairpiece, which would have been kind of sad. But this set I actually really liked, so it worked out. I'm really glad to finally get this hairpiece. And the face print is the same one they've been using since 2014. And originally I didn't like it, but now with this hairpiece, I think it looks really good. You can see he does have a double-sided face, just like Luke there. And yeah, this face I used to think looked extremely ugly, just with the cheekbones and everything, but apparently it was just the hairpiece that needed to be changed, and now it really does look like Han Solo in my opinion. Of course, same generic Stormtrooper legs and torso that Luke had and that all the Stormtroopers have ever had, so nothing new there. And I forgot to mention this with Luke, it's extremely obvious, but they do each come with these medium-sized blasters. So yeah, pretty cool minifigure inclusions with this set. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual build. Also, one more thing, forgot to mention this, but they do include a helmet for each of the figures, so if you want to have them in full disguise, you can, or if you want to have them with their helmets off, like they are a lot of the time in the movie while they're on the Death Star, then you can do that. So I think that was a pretty nice inclusion, and I honestly think it would have been kind of cheap if they didn't include these helmets, so I'm glad they did. Alrighty, now we can move on to the actual build itself. And for those of you who don't know, this is supposed to be Detention Block AA23 from A New Hope, where Princess Leia was being held on the Death Star. Yes, I know, I'm a Star Wars nerd. But regardless, I think this is an awesome set. I just have to say that right off the bat. I'll save most of my overall thoughts for the end of the review. But let me just say right now that I think it's a great addition to any LEGO Star Wars collection. Now, obviously, it's going to be very hard to get this, but I think it was a great choice as a collector's item. Sure, it would have been nice if they released this to the public, but still, I'm just so thoroughly impressed with this set. There's a lot of really cool essential details that really make it for me, details that are accurate to the actual scene in the movie, and overall, honestly, you'll see that I really don't have any complaints with it. So let's go ahead and take a look in depth and see what this has to offer. I think the first thing I want to mention is the fact that you get a lot of room here. I mean, look at all those free studs. You obviously have plenty of space to display Luke and Han, your two minifigs, but you could easily fit quite a few more in there, such as, like, I don't know, Princess Leia or Chewbacca or some stormtroopers to make the scene look more complete. But that's something I really appreciate because this is a pretty small set. It has 220 pieces. If LEGO did release it in retail, it would be around $20 most likely. So personally, I really appreciate the fact that they gave us this much room, and if by any chance any kids got this, they have a lot of room to play with in here. But yeah, that's just one of the many things that I personally like about this set. You do have these little miniature builds inside as well. Those are the only things that really take up room in the actual interior. Other than that, it's just minifigure play space. But these are supposed to be the I honestly don't know what you call these. The control consoles, the comm stations, I have no idea. But they are identical with their designs. You can see they use these trapezoid pieces, and they are hinged, so you can adjust them to your liking. And then they have these translucent red buttons on top, which I think personally look really cool. And that's funny because it's from the scene where Han talks to the Imperial officer, and they sort of have that awkward conversation. Hang on, I placed that back too close up. So you can kind of put Han here and recreate that scene, which I found to be pretty fun as a Star Wars fan. But that's it for like the actual inside. You just have these two little consoles, and then, like I said, minifigure display and play space. All the other things are, a part of the actual main build itself on the walls. And probably one of my favorite details would have to be these security cameras. I mean, in the movie, what I find funny is there's like 12 of them in the one room. So that's quite a bit of surveillance, maybe a bit over the top. But in this set, you only have two. Obviously, that's how many they could fit. And they are identical with their designs and are also hinged to the walls, so you can adjust them as most security cameras could be adjusted. And like I said, identical designs. They use 3 1x2 white plates and then some translucent clear studs. So simple enough, but honestly, that might be my favorite detail of the set. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would have thought of that if I were designing this. So personally, really glad they included that. Really glad they included that. It's just a really fun detail that I personally appreciate. And then you can see on the walls you have some random translucent studs, this little printed sort of keyboard piece, whatever you want to call that. That's not really a special Star Wars print from what I can tell. It's not exclusive, but it's still nice. Hey, it's not a sticker. That's the only sort of like print or design you get in the entire set though. And then you also have the elevator in the back corner here, which looks pretty nice. And for those of you who are wondering, I'm sure many of you have been wondering, no, you cannot open it up. But the funny thing is, if you look at the build from the outside, it's just, all blank walls, except for this back corner here. So I guess if you sort of wanted to imagine Han or Luke inside the elevator, you could do that, even though you can't open it up. But, yeah, you can just sort of place them there. So, I don't know if that was intentional. I'm sure it was, in a way. But I think the elevator looks really nice from the outside, accurate to how the elevators on the Death Star looked in A New Hope. And you can see they do use these translucent yellow studs for, like, the lights that represent what sort of floor the lift is on. And then you have the iconic Death Star light pattern on the back wall here, which is actually really cool because those are just some normal plates or bricks, and you're basically facing the side of them. I honestly don't 100% remember how that was sort of designed to look like that, so that you could see the sides from this angle. But it works, it looks really nice, and I think it's an essential part to the set, so I'm glad they included it. And then lastly, you have this little sort of mini entrance to what would be the hallway where Leia's cell is. Now, obviously, the hallway in A New Hope with all the cells is very big, so they only have the beginning here with these bright red grill pieces. You get about 10 or 8 of those. A nice floor pattern, again, accurate to the movie, which is essential. And you can see they created a nice look of depth with all these different slope pieces. And I'm really impressed with how that came out. And it's a nice little mini extension to the set, so if you maybe wanted to expand on this and create a sort of mock, you could do that. And then also, something random, translucent red button on the outside here. I'm not sure why they put that in. But regardless, yeah, very polished and clean looking build. And I'm really happy with it as a con exclusive item and really as a Star Wars set in general. So let's go ahead and take a look at the instructions and then we will wrap things up for this review. So honestly, the instructions aren't too different from what a normal LEGO Star Wars set would normally have. Obviously, you have the main promotional image here on the front, as well as the LEGO Star Wars logo. As a bonus, there's also the Celebration logo, of course, indicating that this was a Celebration exclusive. And at the back, unfortunately, no advertisements for any other sets, which I guess isn't a big deal. But on the back itself, you can see that they have this, yet another promotional image of what looks like Luke and Han sneaking around. So that's pretty cool. And again, LEGO Star Wars and Star Wars Celebration logo. So that pretty much does it for this review, guys. Before I wrap things up, I'm just going to be expressing my quick and final overall thoughts on this set, and I'll say what I've been saying throughout the entire review. I love it. Personally, the build is just such a strong, awesome build for me. I love it as a collector's item. I love it as an addition to my LEGO Star Wars collection. Really, it just seems like LEGO took one of the designs they were potentially going to use for their Death Star set last year and made it into its own little thing, which I personally think worked out really well. I love the overall concept of this set, and it's movie accurate with lots of little details that I pointed out to you, and really overall, I have no complaints with it. Like I said, the minifigures are also really cool. Han and Luke in their Stormtrooper disguises. Now, yes, they aren't exclusive, but regardless, they both look very cool, and I'm especially happy to get that new Han Solo hair mold. Great piece. Now, obviously, it's going to be very hard for people who weren't able to attend Star Wars Celebration. It's going to be very hard for them to get this. But if you guys can find it by any chance, like on eBay for, say, a half-decent price, and if you really want it, I would recommend it. Awesome set. 2 really cool minifigures, and overall, like I said, no complaints. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this set down in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you guys next time on Brick Age Studios.